Hi, welcome to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. The window is starting to come to a close now. We've already signed Mohamed El Nene, and a lot of fans out there wondering, are we going to make another signing? Who's going to be next? You know what? The real fascinating thing about this window has been that Arsenal fans in this window are a lot more patient, I feel, from reading your guys' comments, from the general vibe that I've been picking up, a lot more patient. In other windows, it's been like, we need to get this, we need to get that, why haven't we got that? But I really sense that this time fans are like, well, you know, we've brought in Mohamed El Nene, decent little signing as a backup. But also a lot of fans are looking and thinking, you know, we have actually got a lot of quality players coming back. They are going to be like new signings. And normally that's like the Wenger buzzword that we all hate. But this time around, we are looking on it and thinking to ourselves, well, actually, this time he's kind of right. I mean, Coquelin coming back. And if you've got El Nene, Flamini, all that, we are kind of covered in that area. If Welbeck comes back, do we really need a striker? Is that striker really out there that we need? So I feel that this time, that we, you know, looking at the window, fans are looking at it and saying to themselves, well, you know, we don't have to go rushing out to get certain players. And I think also that fans understand that certain players are not available. Certain players that we would love to get just are not available at the moment. They're with clubs and they're not willing to sell. But let's get into today's. There is one player that's been mentioned today, and he goes by, first time mentioned actually, in this January transfer window, goes by the name of Jorginho. Really lovely Brazilian name that. He's 24 years of age, a midfielder, currently plays for Napoli. Now, very interestingly, he's a defensive midfielder. So, again, we've bought El Nene. We're not quite sure what El Nene is yet. Is he a defensive midfielder or is he a box-to-box midfielder? All the reports I've seen, talking to Andy Brassel yesterday, we were doing some filming, the European football expert. He says to me he's more of a box-to-box, all-action player, gets up and down the pitch, but can fill in as a defensive midfielder, not a specialist. This guy's a specialist defensive midfielder. Last season didn't feature much for Napoli, was on his way out, kind of out of the club, but has been playing this season, been playing really well. We understand that Arsenal made a bid for the player. That's according to Tutto Mercato Web, a website based over there in Italy. They reckon that Arsenal have made a bid for Jorginho that has been rejected by Napoli. They also say that Arsenal may go back in again. He's currently under contract. He signed a contract extension, so he's currently under contract to 2020. But very, very interesting, this one. Is it that Arsenal are still looking for a defensive midfielder, or could this be something that they were trying to get done before they got the El Nene deal done? We're going to have to watch this space on that one. Also interesting is this youngster, Kelechi Nwakali. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm sure my Nigerian brethren will get on and say no. But he's a Nigerian under 17. We've kind of spoken about him before. He was one of the stars of the under 17 tournament, World Cup tournament, which Nigeria won. His brother has been talking over there in Nigeria. Told a website over there in Nigeria called Complete Sports that the deal's progressing nicely, and literally it's just waiting for the work permits to be sorted out, and then he's going to be on his way to Arsenal. He goes, everything's cool, it's all been sorted out, he will be an Arsenal player. So looks like this could be one that definitely may go through. Of course, he's only a youngster, so I presume that he's going to go straight into that sort of development team to you know, get used to playing around the place and that. But Arsenal definitely building up that academy, adding to that academy, putting together some real good players. We used to have an excellent academy. Over the recent times it's gone down, but it looks like they're really, really trying to make a big effort to bring that back up again. Alvaro Morata, we spoke about yesterday, mentioned again everywhere, of being linked with Arsenal. That Arsenal have made an inquiry about Morata. The £50 million, and even somewhere as I've seen £61 million, seems utterly ridiculous to me. I can't see, number one, he's not worth anywhere near that. No way Arsenal are going to pay that. I mean, we're being told today that Arsenal have got a £70 million war chest for this January transfer window. That's according to the Independent newspaper. Remember, in the summer it was 200 million. Now we're being told it's 70 million. So they've got 70 million that they've made available to Arsene Wenger in this transfer window. If he has got 70 million, what do you got? As I said at the start of the show, I feel like you guys are a bit more patient. But if he has got 70 million, who do you think he should go out there and try and sign? Is there a player? I mean, some people recommending to me, they were saying to me yesterday, Arsenal should try and buy Icardi. Arsenal tried to buy Icardi in the summer. It was rejected. They're not going to sell him Icardi in January. That's what it's all about, who's available. But if he has got a £70 million war chest, who does he go out to try and get over the line? That's what I'm going to ask you guys. Who should he get? And I want you to think of players that he could quite reasonably have a chance of getting. So I'll put one out there. I'll go Isco. Even though it'd be very difficult to do, I think if you've got 70 million, I'm not saying you're going to spend all 70 million on that, but if you've got that amount of money and he's a reported 25 million, and say you went and you put 35 million, you pay over the odds, but you get the player. And I think Isco would be worth it. But you guys let me know. Give me a target that you think. Someone that we could get if we do have that 70 million war chest. Daniel Rugani. Spoke about this guy in the summer quite a lot. Plays for Juventus. He was on loan last season. Did really, really well. Now Arsenal were trying again. This is another player they were looking to try and get in the summer. Well, not necessarily looking to try and get, but they were definitely making inquiries about. 21 years of age, centre-back, plays for Juventus. He's not a regular in the team. He's kind of like, if I was to say, give you sort of a view of how this player's thought of, he'd be like sort of like an Italian John Stones, in that they really rate him highly. Also looking on this, apparently, according to a lot of outlets, as like the long-term replacement to Per Mertesacker, which kind of seems convenient to me, in the fact that Mertesacker had a terrible game on Sunday. So all of a sudden, we're getting linked with all these centre-backs. But Rugani was one we were looking at, and apparently Arsenal are still interested in the possibility of bringing in Rugani before the end of the January transfer window. Sampdoria also interested in having him on a loan deal, but Arsenal don't want him on loan. They would like to actually purchase him. Another centre-back that's been linked with Arsenal today is this guy, Mats Miyazaki. I hope I pronounced that right. He's Polish. I hope my Polish mates will put me right. Interesting one is that he plays for the New York Red Bulls, and you don't really see many players getting transferred from the MLS to the Premier League. It's normally the other way, players going over to the MLS for a bit of their retirement. But this guy, he's a prospect, 20 years of age, plays for the New York Red Bulls, valued at about 3.5 million, so obviously very cheap for a 20-year-old. He's highly, highly rated as a centre back. He's got Polish heritage, so there'd be no work permit issues if Arsenal wanted to sign him. And apparently he's interested in Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City and Manchester United. And if you're interested in those caliber of clubs, you must be a decent player. There's no direct link to Arsenal. There is talk that he's going to be coming to the Premier League to play, but they don't know which team he's going to be joining. But he is interested in Arsenal and all those other big teams there. So, again, we'll keep our eye on that one before the end of the January transfer window. And finally, just interestingly, these are not even related to Arsenal. Well, the link to Arsenal is that these guys used to play for Arsenal. I just found it really interesting yesterday. Emmanuel Adebayor signing for Crystal Palace. For me, makes sense for Palace because they need a goal scorer. Adebayor does score goals, but when you look at this, don't you think to yourself, a guy who really ruined his career for me? He's just like spent his whole career just chasing the money. And I was just thinking, he was actually a January signing for Arsenal. We signed Adebayor in January, and he was a January signing. Probably you got to look on it and say one of our most successful and unsuccessful January signings of all time. And the fact that he was so good, Came out of nowhere, was very cheap. Signed from Monaco for about 7 million. We thought this, you know, nobody knew who he was. He turned out to be exceptional, scoring all those goals. Then came the other side of Adebayor, chasing the money, etc. Went off to City, and you guys all know the story. And he's just been going round and round the clubs. He's been at Tottenham, he's been here, Real Madrid. Now he's at Crystal Palace. But Adebayor, that was the first really sort of strange one. And then the second one that really had me sort of chuckling today is this story of Robin van Persie of Chelsea interested in signing Robin van Persie from Fenerbahce if they're not able to get Pato. I think that shows to you, right? I think what that's showing you is that there's a real lack of top quality players available in this window. And Arsenal may have 70 million to spend, but it's a matter of who can you spend it on, who is available of that real top exceptional quality that Arsene Wenger talks about to pay that amount of money for. They're just, I mean, if Chelsea, we know they've got unlimited funds, are chasing Robin van Persie, that just shows you. Let's just do a couple of your comments here. First one comes from, I'm sorry, I can't read your name because it's written in like, it's either Greek or Russian writing. And I have problems enough pronouncing the English stuff, but I just can't get my head around those. But sorry if I haven't got your name right. But he said, I thought Martial was the new Henry, because I was saying yesterday that this guy that Arsenal interested in from Monaco, he's described as the new Martial. I was having a chuckle about that one. Window Liquor says, we don't need players for the future. We need players that are proven, experienced, ready-made. Also, I'm 90% sure that El Neni is our last signing. Are you? Right? With players coming back from injury, Wenger made it clear he isn't going to sign anyone else unless it's an emergency due to injury. Well, he hasn't exactly said that. He said also that if there's, they'll be looking right up till the end of the window. If there's something of exceptional quality, exceptional player, he'll go in for him. Matthew Mavani, he says Arsenal don't need a striker. So that's what I'm saying. You guys are, you know, you are really different to the last window, and you know, for good reason. That, you know, there are a lot of players coming back. They are like new signings: Welbeck, Coquelin, you know, Rosicky. You know, Kareem Rishon says, I think Rosicky should get a run for Burnley and Coquelin too. I don't think we ever give Rene Allardyce a chance. So these three changes should play at Burnley. Let me tell you something. Burnley won't be an easy game. Burnley are on a great run at the moment. They're third in the Championship. I think they've won 5 of their last 6 games, and they've blitzed some of the teams up the top there in the Championship, and they'll come full of confidence to the Emirates. So, you know, we need to put some strong players in that team as well. Michael Storer says, the new... I love this. I'm going to finish on this comment because I love this one. It says, the new Anthony Martial, he said, I haven't even seen the old one. I really, really like that one. That's a great comment. Thanks for watching AFTV Transfer Daily today. Don't forget, on Monday, we're going to be doing a deadline day special. We'll be doing our AFTV Transfer Daily special on the Monday. And also we'll be doing a deadline day special where it's going to feature a lot of fan channels, a lot of experts. It's going to be great. And I'll give you some more details of that nearer to the day. That's going to be featured over on the Ball Street YouTube channel. So make sure you check that one out. And also we've got some videos. One of them went up yesterday, where we've sat down and we've spoken to Andy Brassel. He's the European football expert. You hear him sometimes on TalkSport on BBC. He's absolutely brilliant. His knowledge of players around Europe and the world is second to none. And he already did one yesterday where he broke down Alexander Lacazette. You got to watch that one. He tells us about Lacazette, tells us about the prospects of signing him. He gives honest views on whether he's signing. He also tells us whether it's a player that will fit Arsenal, tells us about, listen, if you want information on a player, like a proper scouting report, proper information on that player, you've got to watch these videos. We've got another one coming up today where he talks about Aubameyang. Really, really, really interesting. Make sure you watch that one, because he told me some things about Aubameyang that even I was quite surprised about. One of them in that he's not even 100% sure that he is ready yet, although he did say that he'd be perfect for Arsenal. But anyway, you watch the video and you can find out, you know, all you need to know about Aubameyang. Thanks for watching AFTV Transfer Daily. We'll be back around about the same time tomorrow. Have a great day.